Netflix Daredevil Season 1 was a bold new direction for the Marvel-Disney partnership. It proved people were more than willing to follow their favorite heroes to long-form Netflix series, but also that the normally bright and hopeful MCU could support a darker, more mature underbelly. And with that, we have Season 2. Picking up from where the last season left off, Nelson and Murdock are still riding high from being the lawyers who helped take down the Kingpin. The only problem is, now that Matt, again played by Charlie Cox, is taken to the superhero life like never before, it means that his other work is starting to suffer. This puts extra pressure on his best friend Foggy Nelson, who is the only person to share in Matt's secret double life and who continues to lie to their mutual friend Karen about what Matt does at night. One of the issues people had with Season 1, and I will agree, that it seemed like Foggy and Karen spent most of that show looking for clues to mysteries that Matt, and by extension the audience, had already solved. Luckily, that gets addressed here, and the supporting cast has way more to do. Foggy especially really does evolve and grow a pair this season. With Wilson Fisk gone, there is now a power vacuum in New York, with several criminal operations attempting to fill the void. There's the Dogs of Hell, the biker gang we last saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Mexican cartel, and in a wonderful reference to Garth and his stories, the Kitchen Irish. What none of them could expect, though, was the appearance of Jon Bernthal as Frank Castle, the Punisher, a one-man army who rages a very personal war on crime in the city, and unlike Daredevil, this guy has no problem killing, even torturing his opponents. Much like how Vincent D'Onofrio stole the show last season as Kingpin, every time the Punisher is on screen, the show becomes a thing of magic. Bernthal embodies the character like no one before him really has, and keep in mind, I liked the two movie versions. What Daredevil Season 2 does that none of the movies did, and what really only the comics did right, is that Frank Castle at a point becomes truly scary to the audience. They definitely stress the real-world messed up vet angle, and his family's murder, surprisingly enough, becomes the backbone of the mystery portion of Season 2. What's cool about Daredevil and the Punisher battling in the show is that it's so much more than just two guys in costumes hitting each other. It really is a battle of ideologies, and both men's kill versus not kill policy is tested throughout the show. Cox and Bernthal have a real chemistry with each other, probably the best out of any two people in the whole show. Now, don't get me wrong, Cox turns in a good performance too. It's just funny, for the second season running now, everyone's going to be raving about the other guy, even though this is supposed to be Daredevil's show. Now, pacing was perhaps my biggest problem with Daredevil Season 1, mainly because, it was paced out like a big long movie. Jessica Jones, I felt, did a much better job because it was paced like a standard TV drama with starting and stopping points. Daredevil Season 2 shakes things up even further by having its 13 episodes spaced out like arcs of a comic book, which, as a comic reader, I kind of have to respect. Of course, the Punisher wasn't the only new character this season, as it saw the introduction of Elektra, Matt's one-time lover, and man, she might be the most reimagined character, not only in the show, but maybe in the entirety of the MCU up until this point. Instead of being the daughter of an assassinated politician who becomes an assassin for revenge, now she's yet another trainee of Stick, whose entire reasoning for meeting Matt was engineered. What I'm saying is she lacked a lot of her own agency, and that's even before the whole idea of destiny gets tacked onto her at the very end. That's not to say the actress doesn't do fine in the role, because she does, and she certainly holds her own in the action scenes, but without spoiling too much, and after watching the whole series and really letting it sink in, thinking it over, her whole arc was pretty disappointing. She also never wears her classic costume. Not that that's much of an issue for me. I mean, she does wear plenty of red already, and I don't think that costume would have flown in a show where they've already gone out of their way to explain how everyone's costume is made by the Gladiator and has special cut-proof stuff in it. The appearance of Elektra also throws Matt's love life for a loop, as it seemed like he and Karen were just starting to hit things off when his old, exciting foreign flame blows back into town. Karen certainly came into her own in Season 2. They already hit home this idea that she really hates injustice and wants to, find the truth in all things, even when it's super dangerous. No doubt this is tied into her still very shady, very unexplained backstory. The coming of Elektra is of course also tied into the much bigger battle between magic ninja cult The Hand and the Chaste. The Hand make for good villains who test Daredevil's super senses, which in all honesty were pretty downplayed this season when he's not fighting them, and it's nice to see this much more grounded show not be afraid to write stuff with crazy ninjas who are straight up magical, who can straight up cheat death. I love it. Their big plot involves Black Sky, a super weapon which you may remember getting name dropped back in Season 1. And like most Marvel properties, even though things might be a little bit more darker and a little bit more mature, sure they never forget to add the humanity and humor that these products are known for. Standout moments for me include Punisher's choice in car music, or even Elektra making the same crack about Matt's taste in beer that Stick made all the way back in Season 1. Daredevil Season 2 was also a season that went out of its way to lay the groundwork for a lot of what I can only imagine will pay off in the Defenders. The street-level heroes are starting to become aware of each other more now than ever, and to top it all off, this season involves a side plot wherein a corrupt DA is making a run for the mayor's office on an anti-vigilante, anti-superhuman ticket, just in time for the events of Civil War. Ain't that something? On the action side of things, it's everything you loved about Season 1, just more of it. More flips, more kicks, more billy club tricks, and more close quarters hallway fights. Man, Daredevil really does love his close quarters hallway fights. If you can find a hallway, Daredevil will have a fight in it. The costume also has been upgraded since last we saw, thanks to the Gladiator, and Matt even gets his trusty extendable billy club by the time everything's over. If I had to sum up Daredevil Season 2 in just one word, it would be growth. Characters undergo plenty of changes, and we really do get to see a sizable evolution from Season 1 to Season 2 as everyone grows more confident, both on the show and behind the scenes. Season 2 also came packing some great cameos and stellar work from hardworking character actors like Clancy Brown. The music is also top-notch stuff with a lot of great theme work and reprises from Season 1. While not perfect, it is still some very solid watching. I know Daredevil vs. Ninjas in live action has always been a dream of mine, and thanks to this season, that's now a reality. Do I wish Elektra could have been handled a little better? Yeah. Is it unfortunate that at times the Punisher comes off more interesting than our lead? Yeah. But overall, these are minor complaints in the greater scheme of things. Marvel on Netflix is moving forward full steam ahead, and Daredevil Season 2 is yet another impressive feather in the cap. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll feel like checking out some more videos I have on offer here at Cape Joel.